Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of The Golden Age of DC Comics. Now this is 365 Days and it's by Les Daniels, Chip Kidd and Geoff Spear. And this is obviously the spine, the Golden Age of DC Comics. And you've got the Flash there, the Golden Age Flash of course. It's all the Golden Age. And it's not particularly just DC Comics. Obviously it's DC Comic characters now because of course many of them like the Quality Comics and also many others, Fawcett Comics, etc. Obviously now all owned by DC, so you can see it, and there's the back cover as well. So let's just go through it. I mean, it's a very impressive book. Now, this book came out quite a while ago, 2004. There's 744 pages, so it's quite a lot. And I love all the Chip Kidd books, I must admit. I love the style, the layout, and this one is certainly no exception. And it's done by date, though I'm not certain there is any clear indication, particularly of the date. I mean, obviously it's got a nice little introduction there. How to be funny. And then obviously Captain Marvel Jr. there and the art in the dark. And they've got some lovely pictures there, obviously also doing the work there, creating there, lights, camera, and obviously crime and not obviously action. But you've got some lovely pictures there and also that one there showing all the various Captain Comet. I love that. But it's dated. So you've got here January the 3rd. Now I'm not exactly certain, maybe did Detective Comics come out on January the 3rd. I'm not certain what the particularly the dates reasons, but it says May 1939. So however, this is art by Bob Kane, of course, brilliant cover. Now it's not the full cover, of course, it's just a little bit focused very heavily on Batman, and that's much the same all the way through. Sometimes the decisions obviously you think, oh, that's more interesting than maybe some of the other panels. They've obviously decided this is what we're going to go for. But I like the bit of text here. It says this is only the third appearance of the Flash, and already the original artist Harry Lambert had been replaced. And it's about spies, false accusations, etc., etc. So you've got the Flash, and I love all those sort of the Flash by a strange freak of chance, Jay Garrick, etc., etc. And the Green Lantern. Look at that lovely writing there, Green Lantern. And you've got here by Mark Dillon and Bill Finger. Now, of course, you don't actually get very much focus on the, but seriously, that is pretty impressive text, isn't it? And that's actually one of the things I really like about this book is some of the text, more so than some of the, obviously, the people. Because, I mean, Aquaman, I like Aquaman as much as anyone, but it's still, look at that great text. In many ways, of course, it's slightly chopped off. In many ways, it would have been nice if they just made it slightly lower. In this case, you haven't got any text at all. Obviously, you've got that lovely there, the All-American publication. Love that. You can see them. Now it also, of course, details, so it's art by Joe Kubert. I must admit, it's amazing when you look at that, Joe Kubert, and just really does not look that sort of style. You can see, but I mean, certainly when you look at later 1970s, that sort of period, very, very, the Mighty Atom. You got loads of ones. Let's go for, and of course, some of these comics they used to be Green Arrow. Would appear in things like the Adventure Comics, World Finest Comics, this one's World Finest Comics, More Fun Comics, etc. Sandman, there, Boy Commandos. So there's a load of great characters. And this is really complete. I don't know how many characters are actually shown in here. Maybe not all of them are shown. I don't know, because DC did come out with hundreds and hundreds of really obscure characters that probably only appeared for like one comic or something. So probably not all of them, but you got one here. Like this one, Genius Jones, character that obviously is ripe for revival. I think he should obviously make a comeback. There is obviously there, Encyclopedia, Plato, Darwin, and much, much more. And also you've got some lovely characters here. This one, Detective Comics number 15, obviously before Batman started. And you've got Detective Comics and great one there. Lovely close-up there of his, whatever. Also you've got here, and this one, of course, you've actually got a bit more of the panels. So you've got a bit more of the story. I don't think you could really work out much of the story from most of these panels. I mean, if you come into it thinking, oh, there's going to be now that would be a really great book if they did a sort of one where it's very tiny little thing. You could look at it, the whole lot, every single on one page. So you could have like 365 comics all in one book. Now that would be impressive. But I don't think they'll ever do that. But what an amazing thing if they got all those old comics and scanned them. I'm not certain there would be much money doing that sort of thing, but I would buy it. However, you've got loads of other characters here. Art by, this one's leading comics. Not always the heroes, of course. Show them, the world will remember the Hand forever, or whatever. Yeah. Who? Have we forgotten about who he is anyway? You've got Captain... Now, this is the thing that always gets me slightly, because, of course, Captain Marvel, now obviously very clearly a DC character, but, of course, back then was Fawcett, and story and art by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, because, of course, Captain Marvel Adventures #1, 1941. They're quite amazing. I didn't realise it was Jack Kirby's art. I must admit, totally. And you've got this one, John Valor, the Black Pirate. And so on. So there's just loads, page after page. It's a very quality book. It's actually quite heavy. I'm actually feeling already the weight on this. So it's of America. You didn't even have the Justice Society of America there. But you've got the Green Lantern again. There's obviously some repeats. You obviously had Green Lantern earlier, but you've got here Green Lantern. This is from the cover of American Comics 17. I think that was the first one, wasn't it? For that one. Or was it 17? I don't know. Anyway, oh crumbs, that's a very crunched up one. This one's Detective Comics 100, and I have no idea who this character is. Airwave. Airwave, must admit, escaped me completely. It's a very odd one. Of course, Harlequin and Black Canary, and so on and so on. This book is fun. And it's like all the way through. You've got Aquaman again. You've got Aquaman. You've got here, what else? Oh, still have a big hand there. This one I assume is going to be obviously, well, I guess some Grundy, I suppose. I guess. I'm not really certain. It doesn't actually say, actually. Just says, you got Superman of America, the Manhunter. Oh, I mean, it's just great. Not always, like I say, the protagonist particularly shown. You just got there a car and the rain. Look at that rain. Very crunched up panel there. Brilliant. I love that. Absolutely glorious by Ed Moore. And so on and so on. This book is just... But I say, it's not full of all DC characters. There's a lot of other characters that turn up in this as well that are not particularly would be associated with DC, certainly in the Golden Age anyway. But of course, Black Hawk and all those sort of characters. No, I'm not certain. I haven't seen Black Hawk in here. I'm certain Black Hawk is. You've got Scribbly, Wonder Woman, obviously, there's another one, of course, Captain Marvel Jr., Mac Raboy, and so on, all the way through. And that, like I said, there's not a particular, unless there is, someone maybe could put in the comments below saying there is a reason for the dates, but it seems to be just a random sort of thing. But I suppose you could use it as a calendar kind of thing, or maybe that's what the intention was. But it's, I think it's a really nice book. I love these sort of books. If they brought out one of Timely Comics one would be brilliant. All the sort of Marvel characters, obviously, from the 1940s and 1950s, maybe buying those two, obviously be fairly obscure stuff. Maybe too obscure, but still, I would love that sort of book. Maybe EC Comics. I could imagine an EC Comics one of this sort of size. That'd be pretty impressive, seeing all the panels really. That actually would be brilliant, seeing that. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, this was 2004, so obviously that was 16 odd years ago, and nothing has come out. Other than, of course, the Fantastic Four one, which was just come out, which I absolutely love, the panel by panel one. Absolutely glorious, similar sort of thing. However, the grain, if you can see here, look at this, it's not so noticeable. You know, you don't see all the dots. I mean, you can, obviously. I mean, now, let's just go very, very close up there. And you can sort of make, well, it's crunching up really. No, you probably can't make it out on that screen. But still, there is a bit of seeing, obviously, the dots there. But and slight bits of dirt, obviously, in the background as well. But it's just great. Absolutely. What's this one? House of Mystery, number 13. Wow. I'm really glad someone suggested this to me, so I can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember the name, but it was suggested to me saying this would be a really, really good book, and I totally agree. I love this, absolutely. I have actually seen it before. I have sort of looked at it and thought, I don't know, maybe, but I thought, yes, I'll go and pick it up because, like I say, I've been enjoying all of Chip Kidd's work. I must admit, got the Chip Kidd Volume 1 and Volume 2, Batman's, and all those sort of ones recently. Wow, all pretty amazing. That's very odd. Just the way around. However, this is from, I didn't actually say, Abrams. I must admit, they are brilliant as well. They keep bringing out lots and lots of books. They've got a load more coming out, I've seen on their website. And I'm thinking, I'm definitely going to get some of those. So always check that site out. So this one, the Golden Age of DC Comics, 365 days, absolutely superb. Really, really worth getting. So, and it's still, I think, reasonably accessible. Because sometimes in these volumes, when you don't get them straight away, they're very hard to get. But at the moment, it still seems to be sort of affordable. So there it is. Totally recommended.